All right, YouTube tells me that I'm live. Please tell me in the comments whether you can hear me well and see me well. And we're going to get started with today's live class. And I just saw in the comments that, wow, you are in LA and it is 4 a.m. and you're still watching this? Or are you up early? I'm curious which one it is. Thank you for watching at 4 a.m. And it is usually the other way around for people on the other side of the planet, right? Because it is quite late when I go live at 7:30 a.m. in the morning in Korea for a lot of people. So today, this is not the new live class time. And welcome to Talk to Me in Korean if you're new. So first things first, we go live usually once a week. And we've been doing that for the past couple of months now. And I normally go live at the opposite, I guess, end of the day, 7:30 a.m. Korean Standard Time. And today I'm just trying something new because instead of going live in the morning, I thought, why not? I get to say hi to people that I don't get to say hi to live normally. And I know many people watch the recording. Way more people watch the recorded file after the live class is over. So thank you. I just wanted to say hi to new people. All right. Today, we have the same format as last time, Korean Sentence Pattern Clinic. And there are challenges of going live early in the morning, but also a different kind of set of challenges when I go live late at night. The opposite time would be hard for me because I had just, woken up and I'm drinking coffee. I'm trying to, kind of wake up, right? And right now, since it is 9 p.m., my brain is a little bit tired and I have already been doing lots of things during the day. I woke up early. But I hope we get to enjoy this class together. All right. Is everybody ready? Korean Sentence Pattern Clinic is what I am calling it since last week, and this is the second class. And we're going to review the sentences that we looked at last week really quickly, and then practice with new sentences. And if you are completely new to the Korean language, you can start with our Hangul course. All the information about our tools, our courses, our apps, our books, we have tons of resources for you, right? The reason that we started Talk to Me in Korean in 2009 is because we wanted to solve the problem of there not being enough learning materials. We've solved that. And right below me, you see an image representing lots of the resources that we have created over the years. We have the Seyo app, which just turned 1 year and 1 year old, and our Talk to Me in Korean Stories app, which is a little over 2 years old, and our books, 47 books, one more book coming this month, and we have lots of online courses. So please find all the links by clicking open the description section of this page while we're doing the class or after the class is over. And let's begin. Thank you. 감사합니다 for saying that Talk to Me in Korean teaches you a lot. Very happy to hear that. 네, I wrote here, 안녕하세요. 같이 한국어 배워요. Once again, if you're not familiar with Hangul, this might not be the best class for you, but you will still learn a lot by listening to and paying attention to the sounds, okay? You can learn Hangul in one afternoon or in one morning, in one sitting, if you really pay close attention to it. I'm sure many people agree. And then you can learn basic stuff. So last week, we looked at these 5 sentences, and I gave you some time to think about how else to say the same thing. How would you change this to express the same meaning? What kind of variations of the same meaning would you be able to produce on your own? So we practiced with those. And sentence pattern in Korean is actually very simple. 문형, 문형. It's a combination, an abbreviation of 문장, sentence, and 형태. So 문형. There are lots of new abbreviations in the Korean language these days. There have always been more and more new abbreviations, but these days the speed at which abbreviations are formed is kind of becoming faster, higher. But anyway, 문형, not that new of a word. So, 지난 시간에 같이 연습했던 문형, the sentence patterns that we looked at together or practiced with together are these. Really quickly, 그럴 수밖에 없었어요. That was the only thing I could do. I had no other choice. 이거 어떻게 하면 돼요? How should I do this? How should I go about doing this? 오늘은 좀 어렵고 내일은 어떠세요? Today I can't. How about tomorrow? 어디에서 만나면 좋을까요? Where shall we meet? Where will be a good place for us to meet? 저는 한국어 공부하는 거 좋아해요. I like to study Korean. I think the fifth sentence is a good example of the importance of this kind of sentence pattern practice or variation practice because many people think, oh, I know how to say I like to study Korean. 저는 한국어 공부하는 거 좋아해요. But then when they have a conversation with somebody, this is not always the exact same sentence pattern that they will, people will say to you. You will hear other forms, right? So you will be surprised. Okay, why am I not hearing the same thing that I expected to hear? So you have to be flexible. You have to be ready for more kinds of sentences. So if you're curious about what kind of sentences we formed together, what kind of ideas I had as variations for these 5 sentences, please go back to the recorded live class from last week. 지난주 수업을 봐주세요. And now these are the 5 sentence patterns or sentences that we will practice together. If you joined the last one, if you watched the last class, you know the drill. One by one. Okay? And tell me, where are you watching from now? 어느 나라에서 보고 있으세요? In what country are you watching? In what region are you watching? So we have somebody from Nepal. We have someone in LA. I know you, but or we have what cities do we have? 덴마크, 터키, or 튀르키예, 호주, 미국, 알제리. Algeria is Algeri in Korean, in case you are wondering. Nigeria, Brazil, Malaysia. I was there about a month ago. 독일, 싱가포르. Many people used to say Singapore before. I think it might have also been the standard form, but now it is called Singapore in the standard spelling and pronunciation. Queensland, I've been there as well. The Philippines, yeah, been there too. Okay. 파리도 가봤죠. 그 다음에 웨일즈, 브라이튼, 폴란드는 아직 못 가봤네요. 미얀마도 아직 못 가봤어요. 리옹 못 가본 것 같아요. Alright. Okay, the sentence that I just used repeatedly, 못 가봤어요. This is a very common phrase that you can say about a place that you haven't been to yet. Even though you just haven't been to that place, in Korean, about the things that you don't do or you haven't done, you often use the 못 phrase, like can't or couldn't, because you want to add a little bit of apologetic sentiment. Like a classic example of that is 고기 못 먹어요. This is changing, okay, gradually, but let's say until 15 years ago, 20 years ago, or 술 못 마셔요. So hear me out. Even when it's your choice not to drink alcohol, even when it's your choice not to eat meat, and even though it was your choice not to have visited, let's say for me, Colombia yet, or Turkey yet, in Korean, it is very common for people to say that they can't eat meat, that they can't drink alcohol, that they couldn't or that they weren't able to go to a certain place. Because by saying 못, it means, well, I would have liked to have been there, or I would love to drink with you, I would love to enjoy this meet with you, but my circumstances, my body, my health, won't allow me. So you use 못 quite often, okay? 못. 못 is can't, right? 못. So, and 못 is can't and 가 is go. That's right. 가봤어요. So 가다 to go, 가보다 because 보다 is to see. So 가보다 means to have, or to try going, or to have the experience of going somewhere. And 가봤다 in the past tense, it means to have been to a certain place. And then you can say, again, 안 가봤어요. It's fine. It's okay. It still sounds natural, but a lot of people will say, 못 가봤어요. Especially to somebody who is from that country. You know, you don't feel polite enough when you're saying, because I can say this because I've been to, say, England, okay? England? No, never been. I don't care. You know, you don't want to sound like that. So you go, 못 가봤어요. I'm like, oh, sorry, I haven't been there. My bad. So that's very common. All right, so I was reading the names of cities and countries, and I kept saying 못 가봤어요 about certain places. So I wanted to explain why I kept saying 못. All right, so you know the drill. Let me just copy and paste these sentences so that we can review easily later. So please take a look at this. Please do two things. Can you write the translation of this sentence in English in the comments? And then, if you can, offer a variation that you can create on your own. How else would you say this? 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. In the previous class, I gave you the translation first, but I'll give you some time to think about the translation first, okay? 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. And I know there's some latency between now and the moment you will see this, so I will slowly start giving you the translation. 지금 is now. 꼭 is must, okay? 지금, now. 꼭 is must, necessarily. 하다 is to do. 해야 되다 is to have to do. Should do, okay? So 꼭 지금 해야 돼요 is, do I have to do it now? Do you have to do it now? Do I need to necessarily do this? Okay, great translations. 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. Should I really do it? 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. The subject is omitted. There's no subject here, so it can be flexible. It can be, do you have to do it? Should you really be doing this? Can you come with me? Or do I have to do it now? Can I do it tomorrow? It can be many things. And how else? Yeah, Jordan, do I gotta? That's a good translation. How else would you say this? 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. Okay, Helen, that's a great sentence. 나중에 하면 안 돼요. That works. 나중에 하면, if I do it later, 안 돼요. Is that a problem? 나중에 하면 안 돼요. 나중에 하면 안 될까요? That's also very good. Yeah, 나중에 하면 안 될까요? Please explain 돼요. Okay, sure. 되다 is to become in its essence. Okay, 되다. You become a student. 학생이 돼요. And 되다 is just conjugated in the present tense to 돼 plus 어요. 되어요, 되어요. If you say it really quickly, 되어요, 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 it becomes 돼요. You will hear and see 되어요 in extremely formal speech or written text, but normally it's 돼요. And then 되다 can also mean to be okay, to be acceptable, to work. Something works out. So 되다, 해, 야, this part symbolizes condition. So by doing this, it works. So you must. So 야, 되다 is just have to, right? That's how you break down this part. And then how about this? Oh, 꼭. This one is great. 꼭. I didn't think of this one. 지금이어야 해요. Should it be now? 꼭 지금이어야 해요. You can say 꼭 지금이어야 돼요. You can say this with a very frustrated facial expression. And then, okay, this one is good. 지금은 안 해도 돼요? 지금은 안 해도 돼요? If I don't do it now, is it okay? 그 다음에 마리루님, 어서 해야, okay, 어서 해야. In this case, I would say 빨리. 빨리 하는 게 지금 중요한가요? That would work. This version would work. And then, let me give you my initial ideas, okay? These were some forms that I had in mind. Do we have something that's similar to yours? Okay. 지금 아니면 안 돼요? 지금 아니면, if it's not now, kind of in the sense of now or never, right? 지금 아니면 안 돼요? 지금 아니면 안 돼요? I think, for example, which sentence? 나중에 하면, so here, 나중에 하면 안 될까? So in casual language, right? If you drop yo, it becomes casual language, and I can say that kind of sentence to my kids. So I often say 나중에 하면 안 될까? About playing certain video games that I secretly don't really enjoy, but my kids do. 나중에 하면 안 될까? Can we play this game instead? So that's that. And 지금 아니면 안 돼요. If it's not now, is it a problem? 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. Similar to 해야 돼요, you can say 되는 거예요. 꼭 해야 되는 거예요. This kind of ending is one that requires more explanation, more information from the other person. 되는 거예요. 꼭 해야 되는 거예요. 지금 말고 다른 때 하면 안 돼요. A little longer. 지금 말고 instead of now, 다른 때 하면, if you do it another time, at another time, 안 돼요? 지금 꼭 필요해요? Is it really necessary now? Okay. Some variations. Here, I think the key word is 꼭, must, necessarily, absolutely, necessarily. And 꼭 can, in a different meaning, it can also be perfectly fitting. Like 꼭 맞아요. If you're wearing a piece of clothing, like a shirt, and it fits you perfectly, you can say 꼭 맞아요. So that's 꼭, but in this case it means must. And when somebody asks you to make a promise, 내일 꼭 해야 돼요. 내일 꼭 줘야 돼요. You must give it to me. You must do it tomorrow, okay? 내일 꼭. So in an attempt to emphasize this, people often just make it longer. 내일 꼭 줘야 돼요. Like that. All right. Great sentences. Thank you. And a question. 못 가봤어요. 간 적이 없어요. 가본 적이 없어요. 어떻게 달라요? So they all mean I haven't been there before. Okay? They all mean the same thing. They just feel different. Okay? So 적 is the fact that you have been somewhere. the experience of having been somewhere before, and then so you can have these two versions. 간 적이 없어요. I've never been there. 가본 적이 없어요. I haven't been there. It's the same translation. 못 가봤어요. It's the same translation, but again, it just feels different. This one would be the most neutral. 가본 적이 없어요. There's no record in my life of me having been there. 가본 적이 없어요. 간 적이 없어요. It can be neutral, but it sounds more like you are defending your situation. 간 적이 없습니다. Like in an investigative situation, interrogation room. 간 적이 없습니다. It sounds more formal because of that lack of 본 here. And then 못 가봤어요. Like I said earlier, unless you wanted to go, unless you really, really tried hard to go to a certain place and you couldn't due to circumstances, 못 가봤어요 just translates to I haven't been there, but you're just trying to sound nice and polite to the other person for, to apologize for not having been to their country yet. Okay. 꼭 맞아요. 딱 맞아요. The same thing. But I would say this one sounds more colloquial. Alright? 그 다음에 꼭하고 반드시 차이가 있나요? 꼭 means must. 반드시 means must, but 반드시 sounds more formal. So, yep. I don't think my kids have ever used the word 반드시 in their entire lives because it's just written, more common in written language, and 꼭 is so common. Okay? All right. Yeah, 꼭 have the meaning of no matter what. Yeah, but 꼭's other meaning is precisely as well. Let's move on to the second sentence. I am sorry if I'm skipping over certain questions, some details, because I do really want to go through all the 5 sentence patterns today with everybody and then hopefully come back to other questions. Now, give me the translation, your best translation of this sentence, and start writing some variations, okay? And now I will start giving you the breakdown. I, 저도, me too, 그거, that part, that thing, 궁금했어요. 궁금하다 means to be curious. So I was curious about that too is the translation. I was curious about that too. 저도. Yep. Did anybody get? Yeah. Okay. Also, I was also curious about that. Great. Fantastic. Now, Trisha, 저도 알고 싶었어요. Great. I wanted to know as well. Yeah, I wanted to know too. 저도 알고 싶었어요. 저도 그거 궁금했어요. 저도 그거 궁금했어요. So there are a few people sitting together and then one person asks another person a question that you wanted to ask before but you didn't have the courage. 물어보고 싶었던 질문이 있었는데 다른 사람이 질문을 했어요. 저도 그거 궁금했어요. 저도 알고 싶었어요. How do you want to change this sentence? 저도 그거 Why do I keep saying 그거? It's 그거 궁금했어요. It's a mini tongue twister here. 그거 궁금했어요. 그거 궁금. 저도 그거 궁금했어요. Like that. Other than 저도 알고 싶었어요. Do you have any other suggestions? Everyone? 저도 생각해 봤어요. 저도 생각해 봤어요. Would mean, if you say 저도 생각해 봤어요, would mean I've thought about it too. So you can say 저도 생각해 본 적 있어요. To make it closer to that meaning. 저도 생각해 본 적 있어요. I've wondered about that before too. 나한테, you cannot say 나한테. 저한테 말해주세요. 저한테. But that's a little different. Tell me. 저한테 말해주세요. Maybe you can say 저한테도 말해주세요. You know, the answer is going that way and you're like intercepting it and you're like 저한테도 말해주세요. Tell me too. Tell me about it too. 그거 저도 궁금했어요. Yeah, you can just switch the word order a little bit. 저도 그거 물어보고 싶었어요. 저도 그거 여쭤보고 싶었어요. Great. 저도 그거 물어보고 싶었어요. 묻다, 물어보다, to ask. 묻다 is more standard. 물어보다 is more colloquially common. And 물어보고 싶었어요. I wanted to ask about that too. In Korean, you don't have to use about. You know, you can say 그거에 대해서, but you don't have to say it. 그거 물어보고 싶었어요. 그거 여쭤보고 싶었어요. 여쭤보다, 여쭙다, or 여쭤보다 is to ask, but honorific, like lowering yourself. So you are one step below and then looking up to the other person and asking. 여쭤보고 싶었어요. 오, 트리샤님 너무 좋아요. 안 그래도. I actually wanted to emphasize this phrase today and explain it, introduce it. 안 그래도 궁금하던 참이었어요. How do you know this phrase? Where did you learn this expression? 안 그래도 궁금하던 참이었어요. This is out of all the submissions here, by far the most natural sounding Korean expression that you can say in a conversation and sound very impressive. 안 그래도 궁금하던 참이었어요. Okay, let me give you the sentences that I had in mind and explain 안 그래도, because I also had it coming up in the next portion. All right, so the main part was 저도 그거 궁금했어요, right? 저도 그거 궁금했어요. I think I got better at this part. 그거 궁금했어요. Now, the sentences that I had was first, 저도 궁금하더라고요. 저도 궁금하더라고요. So this 하더라고요 or the 더라고요 part is your expression of observation. But you are, in this case, observing your own thoughts and your own reactions. Like you had dinner at 5 p.m. and then you found yourself hungry at 9 p.m. And you can say 배고프더라고요. 더라고요. 더라고요 is the part. So use any existing sentence that you know and add 더라고요. You went outside without a coat in the winter, weather, and you say 춥더라고요. 밖에 춥더라고요. I found it to be cold. Your first-hand experience, your observation. Similarly, 궁금하더라고요. You found yourself feeling curious. So 저도 궁금하더라고요. So that's a really natural sounding, fluent sounding ending. 저도 그거 알고 싶었어요. I wanted to know about that too. I think we had that. 그거 물어보고 싶었어요. I wanted to ask you that. Here we have the same sentence. 저도 그거 물어보려고 했어요. I was going to ask you about that. That's one possibility. 저도 그거 궁금했는데. So this is deliberately dropping, omitting some parts to sound like you are exclaiming, kind of throwing a self-talk sentence in the air so that the other person can also hear it. 저도 그거 궁금했는데. So technically speaking, this is not a complete sentence because we're missing lots of, for example, 저도 그거 궁금했는데요. 지금 이야기하시네요. You have to, complete it. But then 궁금했는데. It sounds like 반말, but it's okay. It's accepted. And then Trisha's sentence 안 그래도. So 안 그래도 is the same as 그렇지 않아도. even if it's not, even without, even before you mentioned it, many translations are possible. So 안 그래도. So 안 그래도, 안, not, negative, and then 그래도, 그렇다 is to be so. Even if it's not like that, or even if it's not for this occasion, even if you hadn't brought it up, 그렇지 않아도, I was gonna ask you anyway. So it's like I was going to anyway is the translation of this part. 안 그래도, 안 그래도. So you call a friend and your friend says, hey, I was just thinking about you, or I was just about to call you. That's 안 그래도 전화하려고 했어. Or that's an excuse maybe. 안 그래도 전화하려고 했어. You know, I think we all have at least one friend who keeps saying this, like never answers a text, and then you call, and then the other person says, oh, I was going to call you anyway. But yeah, nevertheless, it's a very useful phrase. 안 그래도, 안 그래도, 안 그래도. So the pronunciation changes a little bit. Instead of 안 그래도, you can say 안 그래도, 안 그래도, with a little ing. Alright, 좋아요. 세 번째 문장 어때요? 해볼까요? You ready for the third sentence? What is the full translation for that sentence? Here. 안 그래도, no. 안 그래도 궁금하다는 참이었어요. I was curious about that too. Yeah, 안 그래도. I think I skipped the 참 part. So, yeah, I was wondering about that too, is the translation, because 안 그래도 is usually like, yeah, I was gonna. And then 참 is, moment. You can, translate that to moment. I think it's a pretty fitting translation. So I was in a moment where, I was having a moment where, or a moment of curiosity. Good. Hello, I see someone joining for the first time in this live class. Thank you. Welcome. 좋아요. Please ask me questions about your pronunciation later, or ask now, and I'll try to catch your question later. And we're on to the third sentence. 이거 필요했는데 잘 됐네요. What's the translation for this in English? And how else would you express the same idea? Give me variations after your translation. 이거 필요했는데 잘 됐네요. 이거, this thing, 필요했는데, I needed it, 잘 됐네요. Good timing. Yeah, that's great. Great, I needed this is the translation. Or wonderful, I needed this thing. 이거 필요했는데 잘 됐네요. 이거 is the same as 이것. 이거 is more colloquially common. 이것 is more formal and common in written language. This thing, 필요하다, is to need or to be necessary. Okay. It's closer to be necessary because it has to have the subject marker. 가 필요하다. Like it's more like to me it is necessary. You cannot say so and so를 필요해요. And then 잘 되다 is to go well, to be great news. Okay? I needed this 슬라똥병 way. It falls well into this situation. Okay. 이거 필요했는데 잘 됐네요. Let me give you my ideas, okay? Because we already covered 안 그래도, this part. So whenever something happened in a way that you are very happy about the timing, you can say 안 그래도, 안 그래도. So 이거, let's look at this second one first. 이거 안 그래도 필요했어요. 이거 안 그래도 필요했어요. So what does 안 그래도 mean here? This can be a great topic question. 안 그래도, what does this sentence or this part mean in this sentence? It means, oh, even before you brought this thing here in this room, even before you talked about it, I needed it even before. So 안 그래도, 안 그래도 사려고 했어요. I was gonna buy it anyway. Alright? 이거 필요했는데 고마워요. You can thank the other person. Thank you. I needed this. So this 대, and then 마침 is just in the right moment. Wow, the timing is perfect. I needed it right this moment. 마침. Okay? So therefore, you can actually combine 안 그래도 plus 마침. So if you forget everything else in today's live class and just remember 안 그래도 and 마침, I'll be very happy. Okay? 안 그래도 마침. 마침 잘 됐다. Let's say you are going on a trip. You packed stuff for 4 people, but then one person cannot come, and then you found another member. 마침 잘 됐다. You have nothing to do, right? Let's go on this 5-day trip with us. Come on. 마침 잘 됐다. Perfect timing. Just the right person I needed, right? And then 안 그래도. So you can form sentences like these. 안 그래도 필요했는데 마침 잘 됐네요. 안 그래도 필요했는데 I needed it. Perfect timing. So well. This is great. 안 그래도 궁금했는데 마침 설명해 주셨네요. You know what? I was curious about it and in the perfect timing you explained it is the translation of this sentence. Oh, 타니카님. 마침내. Yep, this 마침내 is actually different from this 마침, but good word nevertheless. 마침내 because finally at the end. Formal sounding, poetic sounding. But yeah, thanks to you, we are talking about one more word. 마침, 마침내. This 마침 doesn't have the finally part. 마침 is in good timing with what does the Korean dictionary actually say? Let me check. What's the single word definition of 마침? Just in time? Yeah, just in time. Just happen to be so and so. Yeah, that's good, I think. Where's my screen? Yeah. Just in time. Just happen to be so and so. Okay. 아까 다른 문장들 봤어요. I saw other sentences here. Okay. 잘 됐네요. 이거 필요해요. Yeah, you can say it. Mystical Leave. 잘 됐네요. 이거 필요했어요. You can say it like that. We talked about 딱 earlier, right? Fitting. 잘 됐네요. 이거 딱 필요했어요. 다행이다. 이거 너무 필요한 거거든요. You need one more 거 here because 거든요 is an ending and 거 is a thing. 필요한 거거든요. 필요한 거거든요. Think of it like that. 필요한 거거든요. Right? Okay. 좋아요. I hope the pace isn't too fast because I wanted to give you a compact class. All right. Number 4, we have 2 more sentences and hopefully we'll be able to answer as many questions as possible. 저도 정확히 잘 모르겠어요. Please give me the translation in English and give me as many variations as possible. I have 6 in mind. Alright. 저도 정확히 잘 모르겠어요. So, like I said, the purpose of this practice, this kind of exercise, is for you to be able to make your sentences more flexible so that you don't panic when you hear something that you don't expect to hear. 저도 정확히 잘 모르겠어요. So, yeah, 저 is I, 저도, me too, or me either, or me neither. 정확히, precisely, exactly, 잘, well, 모르겠어요. I don't know. 저도 정확히 잘 모르겠어요. I'm not sure either. And if you only know this version, that's not good. I mean, knowing this is good, but only knowing this form is not good. 저도 정확히 잘 모르겠어요. How else can you say it? 트리샤님, 저도 확실히는 모르겠네요. This is great. So, the fine line that is drawn between native speakers, or let's say intermediate level speakers, advanced speakers, and so line between intermediate, advanced speakers and super advanced and even native speakers is the sufficient understanding of how these two sentences feel different, like these little things. And a teacher like myself or AI tools can try to explain, explanations are possible and we'll give you that, but you just have to feel it. You just have to feel it. How? Through lots of reading, a ton of listening, okay? So what's the difference? 저도 확실히는 모르겠어요. While saying that you're not completely sure, you are making sure that your 모르겠어요 part, I don't know part, is clear. So I'm not sure about the fact, but I'm sure I don't know. That's the vibe it has because of that 모르겠어요, like 어요, plain ending. And then 모르겠네요, it's kind of like adding an emoji at the end of you thinking with your hand, on your chin. Oh, let me see if I know it precisely. I guess it's a no. That's how it feels. Okay? Yeah, it's more genuine because you're still, even while you are wrapping up your sentence, you're still searching for the answer, like in your brain. Like, I'm searching. I don't know, but I'm still searching. So being able to say only this version because you don't know the difference, and then being able to exactly pick one of these because you know the exact, vibe each sentence gives, is going to be a massive game changer in how natural, how fluent you will sound. And don't worry too much about it. Like, you don't have to go into technical details like this every single time you learn or speak Korean. You'll just have to read a lot, listen to a lot of stuff, watch a lot of stuff. Okay. 저도 정확히는 알고 있지. Okay. 제가 정확히 알고 있지는 않아요. This is great. I 알고 있지 않아요. I don't know. 알고 있지는 않아요. Knowing, I don't. Exactly knowing, I don't. So I don't necessarily know it exactly. Okay? 확실하진 않아요. That's good too because it's abbreviated from 확실하지는 않아요. 확실하진 않아요. You can say 저도 확실하지는 않아요. And then 그 점에, okay. 그 점에 관해서는 저 또한 정확한 답변을 드리기가 조심스럽습니다. Okay, I think we have competition going on between Trisha and Maher. 그 점에 관해서는 regarding that aspect, about that point, 저 또한 I as well 정확한 답변, a precise answer, a response 드리기가, so 답변을 드리다 is a fixed expression sounding very formal to give an answer. 조심스럽습니다. I would be cautious. I would be too cautious to give you a precise answer regarding that aspect. That's a very formal sounding and absolutely natural sounding sentence. That's great. All right. And here are the 6 sentences that I had in mind myself. Let's see. Quite similar, okay, to your sentences. 저도 확실히 잘 모르겠어요. That's natural, I think. 저도 확실히는 모르겠어요. Do I know it? Certainly, no. 확실하지는 않아요. Yeah, exactly the same as your sentence. 저도 잘 모르겠어요. You can kind of make it more casual. Okay. 저도 물어봐야 돼요. I have to ask as well. I'll have to ask someone. 저도 다시 알아봐야 돼요. 저도, you kind of overheard some information in passing, so you're not so sure. So 저도 다시 알아봐야 돼요. I need to kind of look into it again. All right. 마지막 문장. If we finish with this sentence within the next 10 minutes or so, we will actually have a 60-minute live class instead of a 90-minute class. I just didn't want to lose my energy level to, let it go down too low because it's late for me. But we'll see. So far, so good. Please give me the English translation for this sentence and then give me very diverse variations, okay? 생각만큼 쉽지 않아요. Okay, 생각만큼 쉽지 않아요. 생각만큼, as much as I thought, or as so and so as I think, 쉽지 않아요. It's not as easy as I thought, or another possible translation that you might not think of easily is, it's not as easy as you might think. Okay, let's see if we have that. Okay, it's not as easy as one thinks. So it can be, again, two directions. Not as something that I am trying right now is not as easy as I had thought before. Or something that I or another person is trying or going to try is not as easy as another person might think. Because we don't have any past tense, present tense information in 생각. It's just a noun, so it's open to possibilities. Okay. 생각, thought. 만큼, like, in the same degree as, okay? 쉽지 않아요. 쉽다, to be easy. So, your suggestions. 생각보다 어려워요. Yep, perfect. Very simple and nice. 생각보다 더 어려워요. 어려워요 is younger. 어려워요 is difficult. You know, 어려워요. These are too easy to mix up sentences. Let me give you a trio of very similar sounding phrases or sentences. 부러워요, 부끄러워요, 부드러워요. I've seen lots of comments and sentences and messages mixing these three up because 부러워요 is jealous. I'm jealous or is jealous. 부끄러워요 is shy, embarrassed. 부드러워요 is soft. So when like instead of saying kind of like saying 어려요, young, instead of 어려워요, difficult, I've seen learners make mistakes mixing these three up. Like I'm jealous, but then you say I'm 부끄러워요, I'm 부드러워요, right? So remember these. And 말처럼 쉽지가 않네요. Perfect. 말처럼 쉽지가 않네요. 말 is words. So 처럼 like words, it's not as I'm finding 않네요. You're trying it now. I'm finding it to be not as easy as as they say. 생각 흔히 생각하는 것만큼 생각하는 것처럼 녹록한 일이 아닙니다. Yep. 겉보기와 달리 상당한 난이도가 수반됩니다. These are again very advanced sentences. Some fun words here. 녹록한 일, easy word. Not very commonly used in colloquial situations, but you might hear it in some older novels and texts. 흔히 생각하는 것처럼, as people often think. 겉보기. 겉보기 is a very good word. It's actually commonly used. 겉보기 is what it looks on the outside, or what it looks like on the outside. 겉보기. 겉 means outside, outer surface. 보기 is watching, looking. So 겉보기 is the outer appearance. 겉보기. You can say it about a person. You can say it about a situation. 상당한, I guess, remarkable, quite big, 난이도. 난이도 is difficulty level. 수반되다 is accompanied. Okay? So here are my sentences. I actually wrote very simple 4 phrases. It is not as easy as you think. 생각보다 어려워요. I think we already had that earlier. 생각보다 복잡해요. Sometimes things are complicated. So instead of saying difficult or easy, you can say 복잡해요, 간단해요. So 생각만큼 간단하게 안 돼요. You can't do it as simply as you think. 생각처럼 쉽지 않네요. I think we had that, right? Yeah, 쉽지가 않네요. Yeah, good. 생각보다 이거, yeah, that's good. 쉽지 않네요. 생각보다 덜 쉬워요. That can work. 생각보다 더 힘드네요. Great. You guys did wonderfully today. 좋아요. And wow, I love this comment. Please allow me to share your comment here on the big screen. Hopping here to say thanks so much to the Talk to Me in Korean team. I've been using your content since 2017 and it really shaped my Korean learning journey. Wild to say that I'm finally living in Korea now. That's amazing. Thank you. DT믹으로 공부 열심히 하셨군요. 감사합니다. 이렇게 한국어 열심히 배우셔서 지금 한국에서 일하시고 공부하시는 분들 많이 계세요. A lot of people are living in Korea after having learned with Talk to Me in Korean. Thank you so much. Yeah. And I remember some people who actually were with us in the beginning in 2009, in 2010, and they now speak amazingly fluent Korean and they come up to me in the streets. Like, I think I say hi to, let's say strangers, okay? People that I don't know yet, in person, roughly, I don't know, 20, 30 times a month, almost every day, like here and there, who come up to me and say, thank you for creating all the resources. And I always say, my answer is, thank you for studying hard because, I enjoy doing this and a lot of people do their part and they shape their future for the better. That's great. So, do you have some questions that is there a question that I missed? And this is a great method. Thank you. So yeah, you can use it for your own teaching if you're teaching a language. I think it can be applied to other things as well, like learn the basic forms, moves if you're a dance teacher, and then try to make more variations, be more flexible. What can you do with these building blocks? And always expand. Try not to say the same thing. 감사합니다. Wow. So we were like really focused on actually exercising with these sentences that I didn't get to hear your feedback about the class. But thank you for all the nice words. Thank you. Here's another question that I find it to be very useful. So 몰라요, 모르겠어요. I have explained it a few times before. It depends, but in most situations, 모르겠어요 is much better because 몰라요 is more like I don't know and I don't care and I am not interested in trying harder. It sounds like that actually. But with the right facial expression, okay, with the right gesture, and in the right relationship, it can be fine. 몰라요, like that. Once again, let me give you the best impression. So even with the shorter version of 몰라요, I don't know, which means, it's a simple translation, I don't know, you can still sound polite by showing some hesitation and your agony, like 몰라요, like that. It's fine, it's polite. But unless you want to do that, you can just say 모르겠어요. It's way better. All right? Good. You have a level 2 on Talk to Me in Korean. Which subscription should I take or do you recommend? If you already have level 2, do you have a book? If you have a book and if you want to try something new and you are not ready to subscribe to everything that we offer, I think you can go on to Talk to Me in Korean stories first and read more because we have tons of stories in the app. And then when you're ready to speak more, go on to 세요. Okay? Yep, in the Korean language, like this one, there seems to be lots of things that you can say wrong if you're not careful, but it's fine. I always tell you, it's okay to make mistakes, especially if you said that to your tutor. Your Korean tutor, is the safest person to make mistakes in front of, and that's fine, okay? 괜찮아요. 그리고 감사합니다. 실비아님, you will carefully go through all the examples again. 감사합니다. Yep, we are working really hard to make our apps and everything that we have better and better. Let me show you the website really quickly for those of you who are new here. So if you come to talktomeinkorean.com, you'll see these 4 products that we offer: courses, books, 세요, and stories. Courses are for people who want to learn with the video and audio courses. Sit down and watch me or other teachers explain things and you can take notes. And join the community there. The community there is really warm and welcoming. So please share your learning, stories there, experiences. And then you can get our books here on Amazon or anywhere that you get books. 세요 is our speaking practice app. You can practice speaking like this. Oh, I'm seeing this page for the first time. My coworkers worked hard. Wow. You know what? I'm seeing this for the first time. I'm excited. Wow. This is an update that I didn't see before. You and I are actually seeing this for the first time together. So Seo is our speaking practice app. Half of the app is based on our units. You will hear my voice, you'll hear my coworkers' voices in the role play units. And then you can use the other half, which is either scenario-based AI speaking practice or completely free Seo call. You can set it to call you at a certain time and it will call you. And now you can actually use the Seo call feature for free without subscription for a couple of weeks. So please try it out. And then, yep, our Stories app is going to be great for reading. If you're the type of person who like learns a lot by reading fun stories, you can see the translation, grammar breakdown, and you can add all of these words to your vocabulary flashcards, and then you don't have to make your own flashcards manually. So, yeah, we have a lot of great things for you. 그리고 제가 페이지를 여기 있군요. Wow, that's amazing. 진짜요? 진짜 너무 멋지신데요? 4년 전에 한국어를 배우기 시작하셨는데 You started learning Korean 4 years ago. 티티믹 영상을 보면서 공부 많이 했어요. You studied hard, you studied a lot watching Talk to Me in Korean videos. 몇 개월 전에 튀르키예에서 이재명 대통령님과 김혜경 여사님의 통역사로 일하게 됐어요. You worked as the translator, interpreter for the president, South Korean president, and the first lady a few months ago in Turkey. That's amazing. 와우, 공부 정말 열심히 하셨나 봐요. 축하드립니다. Congratulations on the amazing achievement. Must have been so exciting to work with them. 네, 그러면 thank you. I think that's a wrap for today's class. Thank you so much for joining today. Let me just wrap up by reading you the 5 key sentences that we started from together and then come back next time. So we started from these 5 now simple looking, simple sounding sentences. 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. 저도 그거 궁금했어요. 지금 꼭 해야 돼요. Should I really do it now? 저도 그거 궁금했어요. I was curious about that too. 이거 필요했는데 잘 됐네요. I needed it. This is great. 저도 정확히 잘 모르겠어요. I'm not entirely sure either. 생각만큼 쉽지 않아요. It is not as easy as I thought. All right. That's it for today's live class. I'm thinking, maybe I can do it bi-weekly like this. I can next week go back to 7:30 a.m. 7:30 a.m. class, and then the following week I can do a nighttime class for Korean time, and that way I can accommodate more people. Yeah. 감사합니다. 그러면 다음 시간에 만나요. Please feel free to watch the recording whenever you want to review, and do me a favor and click on all the links in the description and check out all the pages, especially the Seo page, the updated Seo page. I don't know why I didn't get to see it before today. I'm gonna take another look. 네, 그럼 여러분 다음 시간에 만나요. 감사합니다. Bye.